welcome back to another episode of the Caffeinated Librarians. We're going to get a little cozy this fall and go with one of, I think, Joe's picks for the fall recommendations, and it is the animated miniseries Over the Garden Wall. It came out in 2014, so it's been around for a while. It's a cozy fairy tale, kind of dark, slightly dark story of two brothers who find themselves lost in the woods and are just trying to get home.
They're weird woods.
Yeah, and he's just like a gnome.
Well, it was Halloween in
and
his town.
it's made by Patrick McHale, who worked a lot on Adventure Time.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Yes.
That's why I recognized the animation from it.
I've never watched Adventure Time. Like, I've only seen clips because what interested me was that the unicorn rainbow
She
speaks
speaks
in Korean. So that was like, oh, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
everyone understands her.
There's a couple episodes where it's like the Ice King wrote gender swapped fanfic of everybody, and
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, Lady
People went nuts.
Lady Radicorn becomes Lord Monochromicorn, and he just stamps out Morse code.
I think I remember that. Everyone went nuts for it
Yes.
online. I saw all the fan art, everything for it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the meat and bones of
What did
this
y'all
show.
think?
I loved it.
Yeah, well, I know, to be honest, I liked it. At first I was like, what's going on? I don't really understand. And then I realized that, like, each episode, I guess you can kind of describe it as being like vignettes almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, of their little journey.
Yeah.
Not little.
I do have to say, Greg annoyed the hell out of me.
Oh no, Greg's so good.
I couldn't stand
great kid.
Greg.
No, potatoes and molasses.
Greg rules.
No.
To be fair, it's like you start to feel bad for Greg towards the end because he's
Yeah.
just a child,
Yeah.
and work kind of like is like, well, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be lost in the first place. And I'm like, oh, and then he tries to fix it.
Yeah.
But then he can't go alone. He could have gone away.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good little brother. He's
Yeah.
taking care of his pet frog named
Various amounts of names.
Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington, Ward
Benjamin
Jr.
Franklin.
And then eventually it becomes
Oh, I forget what the frog ends up as.
Thunder.
Oh, Jason Thunderburger. Yeah.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
don't like Jason Thunderburger.
I love Jason Thunderburger. What a funny character. You've met people like him, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Absolutely. I probably went to school with a few of them.
So what's also very interesting about this short series is that it has quite the voice cast. So
Yeah.
we have the main character voiced by Elijah Wood, which I noticed right off the bat because I've seen
Yes.
him do other voice acting roles. He actually played the main character in the Tron animated TV show that they did on Disney Plus.
Of course you would know that.
Yeah, I would know that because I saw Tron and went, "Oh, prequel, great."
You know,
Gotta
it
watch
took
that.
me I think like 2 episodes to realize that it was Elijah Wood, and then I really read like the credits trying to see who played who, and I was like, oh, it is Elijah Wood. But I knew off the bat that the woodcutter was Christopher Lloyd.
I knew that too. I
Yes.
couldn't think of his name. I was like, "Oh, I know who you are."
It's Doc
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the doc.
Or the Page Master from the Page Master.
All right.
Did anyone else think that...
Nobody's coming up with Page Master
I
first.
did that a couple weeks ago where I was like, Page Master. That movie was horrifying. That's a Halloween movie right
It's
there.
a great movie.
I've never seen it.
Yo, that's nightmare fuel. Brian was telling me that, like, you know, what is it? Little Nemo, like the animated film, was a
Yeah.
nightmare fest? No. Page Master.
Simona, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was going to say, the Beast. Did anyone else kind of think that he had a sexy voice, or was it just me?
It's
Oh, no,
Keith David, right?
Samuel Ramy.
Oh, never mind.
He did have a sexy voice, yes. But like at first, I thought that what they had faced in the first episode was the Beast, and then like the black turtles had something to do with it. But
Deal
then,
with those black turtles.
and then you saw like the shadow at the end of the
Yeah.
first episode, and I was, huh?
Okay,
Something doesn't feel
yeah,
right.
the guy who voices the Beast is an opera singer. He's a bass
That explains a lot.
He's
Okay.
done a lot.
I
of
hear
musical stuff.
I hear a gravelly voice like that, and I immediately think, "Oh, it's Keith David. He's picking up another check because he loves voice acting." But
Yeah. Well, he was
No.
Goliath in the Gargoyles, so
Oh, that's the same.
Yes.
Oh, because a part of me thought his voice sounded so familiar too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, ooh. He has a very sexy voice.
yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Curry shows
Yo, I
up.
feel that.
Does he really?
He's Anti-Whispers.
No.
Yeah.
That didn't
Always
register
plays
at
the
all.
weirdest roles.
And did anyone else get freaked out by Anti-Whispers?
Oh, Anti-Whispers is
Yo, I thought
yeah.
Anti-Whispers
Even
was gonna
the
be the
ending-
one that eats the children.
She reminds me a lot of the old lady from Spirited Away.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just in terms of like the giant face and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
legit, when I saw, it, I was like, "Oh, that is terrifying."
Well, it's interesting you make that contrast because just like Yuriba and Yubaba, it's like one's the good sister and one's the bad
Yeah.
sister. So when they finally meet, the two kids end up finding a bluebird who they save, and the bluebird tells them
Beatrice.
she'll take them. Beatrice tells them they will take her to Adelaide, the kind woman of the woods, the good woman of the woods, or something like that. And she's gonna help them get home, only to find that
She's a kid snatcher.
she's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
kid snatcher and wants to enslave children, turn them into yarn and enslave them, which is great.
It
which I was like,
almost-
oh,
You know, Simona, that almost sounds like the Weaver from Akatar.
Yeah. There's in this series that Katie and I love, there is this character called the Weaver, and when one of the main characters first enters her cottage, there's like all this like she weaves, hence her name, but the freaky thing, I'm not going to say anything, is the material she uses to weave with. So yeah, when I saw her, I was like, oh my. But Anti-Whisper was definitely freaky. I don't know whether it was the huge eyes or just that her head is a
I
lot
think she's
larger than the
supposed
rest
to
of
look
her.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a misleading. It's a misnomer. I think is what it is. You look
See,
at her
now-
and you think she's gonna be the one, and her very demeanor and
Yeah.
her look. She's the ugly witch,
Yeah.
nasty lady who's got a young girl who's sick, trapped in the house.
Yeah.
Wants to keep her from the dangers of the world.
Yeah.
Outsiders, disgusting.
You know, see, that's funny because Anti-Whispers didn't freak me out at all. But when
The girl turns
the
into
girl
the
turns
monster.
into
was
the
like,
ghoul, it was like, okay,
That's where I could see
freaky.
the Adventure Time animation is with the like scary monster.
I
kind of
think
thing.
this and Adventure Time both. Adventure Time doesn't get recognized for as a bunch, but I think both of them draw a lot from like 30s animation, especially like Fleischer Brothers stuff.
I mean, I
Yeah.
saw
Like-
that, like, when I was watching it, I was getting, like, the Disney short vibes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't know if they're making fun of it or if this is, like,
I
really
think they
like,
like
appreciation
the
for
vintage
it.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
like,
this whole show is vintage.
I love the Highwayman and his
Oh,
like quick
yeah.
little song because it's
Yeah.
animated like how they used to rotoscope Cab Calloway into Betty Boop cartoons.
Yeah.
Like just this really
Well,
weird fluid animation.
Yeah. And I don't know if you got this as well, but the tavern keeper in that
Oh, she's Betty
episode
Boop.
reminded me so much
Yeah.
of Betty Boop.
That whole scene was funny. He says like, "But who are you?" And she
Yeah.
starts introducing each person.
Highwayman.
Yeah.
Do you look like you escaped convict?
Yeah, well, highwaymen are robbers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
duh.
They are.
Okay, fine. Never mind. I was like, he looks like he just escaped from prison. Okay.
There's-
That explains. But you know what I was thinking too? Oh, because I was thinking of the poem, The Highwayman.
Yeah.
Is the Highwayman a robber in the poem?
Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. Forget about it. I was like,
I'm not a
no,
poetry person.
no wonder that was all. Okay, now it all makes sense. Thank you.
You're
okay.
welcome.
But yeah, they would hang out on roads and rob whoever passed by.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Highwaymen.
But I also like the song they sing when his name is Wirt or Ward.
Wirt.
Sorry.
I know, you could say word if you want to at this
Yeah.
point.
When like is it the hairdresser or something, or the tailor finds out that
Yeah.
he thinks he's gonna get, and that they all start giving him advice. I just
Yeah.
thought it was so funny.
Because he's the hopeless
You've
romantic.
got to have a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was also wondering, are any of these stories supposed to also be loosely based on fairy tales?
I think Kind of. I don't know if there's any one-to-one ones, but like
Okay.
I think definitely they're drawing a lot from just fairy
Okay.
tales in general.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it does have the tropes
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
It is based on, apparently there was a short animated film called Tome of the Unknown.
Yeah, that
which is
was
what this
pretty
is.
much the pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That this is all like comes from. But I assume there's many different inspirations that come.
I love the gorilla suit.
I love that story. The teacher was so funny when she starts. She's like, A is for, and she just, by the end of it, she's on the ground, like, tired.
This lunatic running a school for animals.
Yeah.
But it's like a Disney thing. It's like, you know.
But the animals just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there like.
I love Wirt's whole like rebellious attitude at that point. It's like, do you always do what you're told? And he's like, maybe you should do what you're told. And then he starts doing what he's told.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you feel good about yourself? He's like, yeah, kind of. That sounds like a me move. I'm not gonna lie. That passive aggressiveness.
But I like how, what I find interesting, maybe it's because he is a child, and his name is George, right? The younger brother?
Gregory.
Gregory. I'm
Gregory.
screwing
You
up
call
all
Greg.
their names. Sorry. Gregory.
You're close enough.
Sorry. But I feel like Gregory, though, like, considering they're in this, like, fake world with these crazy characters, he handles things
Was
quite
it?
well.
He's so cool. He's got
not-
his elephant costume.
Wait, it's not fake. You're right. Wait.
Is it fake?
We
No.
don't know.
Was
Yeah,
it?
well, I mean,
The frog glows at the end, so. And we
Yeah.
get the epilogue with like how they affected everything. So.
I like to believe it was real.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go
I
with
didn't
the
see
premise
that
that it was
epilogue.
real.
That wasn't on the list.
No,
ten.
it's
It's
just in the
episode
last
10.
episode.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like at the end they show the clips of like
The woodsman gets his
Beatrice
daughter
is
back.
back with her
Oh, yeah,
family.
okay,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eat your
never
dirt.
mind.
And wait, why were the bluebirds eating dirt? Like, bluebirds don't eat
Bluebirds
dirt.
eat dirt?
They were eating dirt.
They,
They're
They
probably
don't
eating
eat dirt,
worms
but
in the
that's
dirt.
probably
It's not.
just- yeah,
it's supposed to be
it's-
nonsensical.
maybe I'm
Simona.
just reading. Okay, I'm
God,
probably
Simona.
sorry. I think that's also why that kind of world would drive me crazy. That's another reason why, like, when I read Alice in Wonderland, and I know the whole point is that it's nonsensical, but like that's a world I would never want to go into because nonsensical world, like that would just drive me. I'd be like the
You
Mad
wouldn't
Hatter
wanna
at that.
stay in
But
any of those towns. I love
No.
the pumpkin people. I that'd be my town.
the pumpkin people scared the
They're
crap out of me.
skeletons, really.
They're skeletons.
And when they saw, like, when I figured out what they're dancing around and that gigantic pumpkin-headed thing, I was like,
Enoch.
no.
Who does the voice of the
Chris Isaac, the
Okay.
rockabilly
Were they
singer.
playing with the whole Children of the Corn thing? Because that's what that reminded me of. I was like, oh
they're-
my
But
lord.
they're not
They're a harvest
satanic.
cult.
They're not killing nobody.
Yeah.
It doesn't-
They're helping their
They're already
friends.
dead.
Oh, that's just weird.
And at the point at the end, they're like, you're not supposed to be here yet. It's kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Big Fish.
I
Kind
have.
of like
Oh,
the
yeah.
town.
Mm-hmm.
The town that he comes through the woods is all about, they're dead
Yeah, yeah,
or something along the lines of that.
yeah.
And so it's like
But-
you're not supposed to be here too early.
But is that the afterlife waiting for you? Like, that would be
and
it.
like, you wanted her.
I was disappointed
I
by
wouldn't
that.
mind that.
I wouldn't
Living in a
mind
nice little
being
town.
being a pumpkin in a small town.
I would
Why
love.
not? They
Yeah.
seem happy. Yeah.
I
they're-
love the image of that episode too. When they're like, isn't all that like don't you find this place creepy? And they look over, you see the pumpkin with the like straight face carving. Like,
Yeah.
there's a TikTok where there's a family every Halloween that posts. They all have pumpkin heads, and so you see them carving like pumpkin heads too, and they stare at you. It reminded me of that, and I was so happy.
Yeah, but it's just really like, it's true. Like, doesn't this seem creepy to you? No.
And they did like a fall maypole thing with,
Yeah.
with the big old pumpkin, and it was a cat inside the pumpkin. And we
Okay,
find
so
out the
I
end.
wasn't like seeing something.
Oh
it
yeah,
was a
you know
cat
the
that
little
popped
cat. I forgot about
popped
that.
out of the giant pumpkin head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love the pumpkins. They're so nice, and they just start chatting. Like, thanks for all the work.
Yeah, they're Midwestern. They're...
my God, that freaked me out.
And they're just helping their butts.
Because
Oh,
that's the thing of horror movie fuel. You go into a small town, picturesque, everyone's nice, and they want to kill you. That's what it was reminding me of. Like, oh my God, they're gonna die. The pumpkins want to kill them.
Well, what freaked me out was the beast. Like just having him like at the end of the last episode, having him full on and all this other
There's
stuff.
just that little flash of what he actually looks like.
Yeah.
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 That sort of ruined the romance for me at that. I was like, ugh, it's just gross.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's like he's like, it's almost like saying, and I'm probably reading too much into it, but it's like, what's life without hope or innocence or just that like just being carefree.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like it's like just what it reminded me of, and I'm probably reading too much into it.
Well, now that you brought that up,
Oh,
no,
joy.
no, I also thought about the fact that he relies on fear.
Yeah.
Like also
Yeah.
the dark, how the dark makes your mind imagine things, and then when he's revealed, it's kind of like Oogie Boogie.
Oh yeah.
When he's unraveling, he's just like these pile of bugs. So once
Yeah.
you like unravel your fear or shine light on your fear, like, it doesn't become scary anymore.
Yeah.
So once his true form is revealed, he kind of loses his control over the populace, so to speak.
Yeah.
Although he was only really bothering the poor woodcutter. Like,
Yeah.
I felt so
Yeah.
sorry for that man.
Well,
And I'm sure
and
he
then-
would have tricked somebody else too if the woodman could not
Yeah.
control. Like, you know, he used his daughter's. He used a grieving. What was it? Grandfather? Was it a grandfather or
I think
father?
his father.
Father.
Father, yeah.
It was
the
a
father.
grieving father whose child died and was trying to save their soul.
Yeah.
And to keep the soul alive, the demon, the beast demon person thing was like, cut these trees because I need the oil. And these oil comes, it's technically blood from these children. They're blood trees.
Yeah.
Blood tree.
Data wood
They
tree.
are
But we don't want to show blood here. So
of the lost
oil
souls.
juice. It's like nom nom.
But it's like and then but it's like seeing that it's almost like the series came full circle from the first episode to the last episode too, which I really enjoyed seeing, because in the first episode I really legit thought that the woodcutter had something wasn't right, and I legit thought that he was insane and part something that he had something to do with the beast if he wasn't the beast.
If stories have told me anything, always listen to the woodsman.
Yep.
Because the woodsman knows what's up. He's seen the things.
Yeah.
How dare you distrust the woodsman?
Well, you know.
Well, when they started saying that he's the woodsman, like he's the beast, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
until you see the actual beast. I did like, it's like, it followed the cartoony trope in the first maybe like 2 episodes where it was like, so we have the plot in the first episode, and then you have 2 rando episodes in the middle where it has nothing, a little to do with any semblance of plot, so it makes it feel like more little standalone episodes. And then it starts getting into like bits and pieces of things where they're like, nope, this is a flowing thing, something's coming, we don't know what it is.
I like the gag that the 2 rich people were just building such huge houses that they ran into each other at some point.
I was gonna bring up that episode because I
It
love
was
the
great.
horse.
Oh yeah, Fred the horse rules.
He wants
just
to, like,
he wants
maim.
to steal.
I want to steal. And the voice actor for that one is Fred Stoller, and I know his voice anywhere because
Oh yeah.
I hear that voice everywhere. Fred Stoller looks like how he sounds, in my opinion. But he's been in like, he's just.
I think he's been in a ton of sitcoms.
He is so many
and-
things. He's Rick and Morty. He's Woody Woodpecker. He did so much stuff growing up. It's just, it's when you hear it, you know it. It's like
Yeah.
He was from
recognizable.
Everybody Loves Raymond too.
Was he in that
Yeah,
show?
he had a pretty big supporting role in that.
Oh, he was also in Adventure Time. Makes sense.
I like how he found his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I thought it was true because, like, you like, I was kind of
He's
thinking
got
that
a real job.
yeah, that the old guy was the ghost or whatever, and then when the reveal is that it just simply built connections between their 2 homes. that was kind of interesting. I like that part, and then they end up like combining, and
I love John Cleese.
yeah,
So much.
they're no longer enemies. But I like how Beatrice assumes the horse is dumb, like he can't talk.
Yeah. He
And
talks.
she's a talking animal right
Yeah,
now.
it's just so funny. But he does talk. That was a good episode.
That was the best love story.
I
I've ever
also
seen.
I hated Cloud City.
I love that.
Oh, the dream
Who
sequence.
in the
North
world would want to go up there?
It's-
Like,
He's
there's
a child.
It's perfect.
they're
It's
gigantic
like,
floating heads with wings.
It's just like
cherubs.
those freaky 30s cartoons
Yeah.
when they have dreams and it's
They're
just
all
like
different animations.
This seems like what you see before you die.
Yeah.
I hope not.
That's
oh my
kind of
god.
the point, in a
Yeah.
sense, if you think about
Oh
it.
my
yeah.
god, I hope not.
They're basically on the verge of death. They're
There's-
both sleeping in like a snowstorm.
There's a great one like that called like a Balloon Land or something. It's so nuts, and like there's this pincushion who keeps popping all the balloons, and it just
my God.
is wrong.
Oh my god, that freaked me. I think that was worse than Pumpkin Land for me. I was like, this is just bad. It's like,
I've seen Balloon Land.
Yeah.
Wow.
like now
Look
that
at
I'm
balloon
seeing
people.
the anime. Oh yeah, you're
I'll send Joe some images to
Fuel the put.
to show you some nightmare
Fuel
fuel
the
for night or
nightmare,
the
yeah.
balloon people.
Oh my god.
But the song, the
Oh,
little
that was
song.
an Ub Iwerks one? Damn. Ub Iwerks was worked a lot with Disney early on. He co-created Mickey Mouse, and
Oswald the
let me
Rabbit.
tell you, he got screwed out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would assume as much.
So is Pincushion Man the villain?
Yes.
He's just popping all the balloon
He's
people.
murdering balloon people.
Here's the question: how do balloon people reproduce?
They just
I
take
don't
some
think
balloons.
they thought too hard about that,
Look,
but
they just wait. It's kind of like that movie. What was that animated movie that everyone's talking about now? Robots. They just buy a kit.
is everybody talking about robots now?
Yeah, it was crazy because like my siblings were into that movie when they were young and like when it came out.
Yeah. So
And
was
then
I.
like for some reason the song for the Evil Guy's Factory like hit TikTok and people were like, "Oh my god, let's talk about robots. Anybody remember this movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember this movie. I kind of wish I'm gonna put it over there right now." But in that movie, their robots and how they produce is that they just buy a kit
Mhm.
and they build the baby.
Yep.
And that's it. That's kind of how I envision balloon people going about that. They just
They have a balloon
they
maker.
pick a
Okay.
balloon and
Yeah,
they're like,
maybe
"This
they have
works."
like they've
And
got
then
like
they-
rubber farms to grow the.
I know, like
It's a
Rubber
process,
trees?
definitely.
Like, obviously it's not important, but these are just the things that come to my mind. Like, the
I feel like that.
logistics of things. Like, how does this happen? But that makes sense. Maybe they just make the balloon baby.
Sometimes it just happens, Simona,
Like,
and
we're
there's no
alone,
real
that's
rhyme
how
or
you do it.
reason for it.
The frogs one was funny, too. I liked the frogs on the steamboat.
I liked seeing that everyone they came in contact with like had somewhat of a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like they all found their place
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the world, and I think that's kind of like Wirt's kind of thing. Is
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
I liked his motivation. Like she's like, "So what's up with you? What's going on with you?" And he's like, "I just like a girl."
Mm-hmm.
And her name's Sarah. Like, what was her name? Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, I love that Wirt's problems are entirely in his head. Just Sarah's clearly into him. Jason Funderburker is just a guy, like
Oh, like me? No.
Bless his heart.
At first, I thought he was going to be like some jock. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
said,
the way
that's
he's
his
talking
competition.
about
That's his competition. I was like, okay, you got this. Go for
Yeah.
it. Like, I thought he was like, because when I saw the football
super-
player, I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's his competition. There's like, nope. I was like, oh, it was just so
And then he
funny.
mentioned-
yeah, the
The
football
frogs.
player's just a nice dude.
Yeah. I like how this subverts every trope, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
the ugly, hideous people, you assume they're the evil ones or the good ones. But yeah, that
I
was
love that
really
he
funny.
gives her a mixtape.
I know. I thought that was
And
so
she's
nice.
like, "Oh, I don't have a tape player."
Clarinet and poetry.
Oh.
It was. I don't think it was clarinet. It was a not a bassoon. Was it a bassoon?
No, on the mixtape it was a clarinet and poetry.
Oh, because I thought on the frog boat he was
He-
playing the bassoon.
He was playing.
I
the
guess
bassoon.
Okay,
he
a bassoon.
knows all his woodwinds.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's got skills.
He's got some mad skills.
mad skills. Greg can sing. He's got the bassoons and every woodwind imaginable, and the frog is just amazing.
I love when Greg's pouring the molasses on the potatoes, and it just it sticks there for like a minute.
Yeah.
Like just.
But it made the difference.
It's gross. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I've tasted molasses because I've used it in cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So potatoes and molasses, I'm just like,
I would try it. I would give it a shot.
no.
Oh, thank you.
It's like fossilized potatoes at that point, so it's like That's what you're eating. You're eating fossilized potatoes.
It's just potatoes with a little something sweet on it. Like,
If
A
you put like
little. If you put like a smidge of it, like
yeah, you don't drown it. It's molasses.
not like what he's doing. He's like molasses. Some potato. But I love that song.
Oh yeah.
So all
I
these
mean,
episodes
I
are
don't
so
know. Like that song reminds me. I don't know if anyone else, but reminds me of Shirley Temple.
Yeah, definitely that sort of vibe.
Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits loop the loop. Gosh, oh gee, while I have fun swallowing animals one by one. That's what was running through my
What an
head
evil
when
child.
when Gregory was singing that song.
Evil child.
I'm surprised also how that pot stayed on his head, considering all that they go through.
I know.
It's his elephant costume.
Yeah, that was.
Which I didn't realize till Joe told me. I just thought he put a pot on his head.
Well, honestly,
I didn't realize that either until they
but to
showed
me,
the flashback.
He's eccentric enough where that would make sense. He would just put a pot on his head, you know. And then when he
He seems like a kid who would do that in general.
I love when Greg goes into the party and Wirt's outside and he's like freaking out, and then when he goes in, everyone's like, "Oh, hi, Wirt."
Yeah.
No care in the world.
Yeah, I felt bad, like how the woman made him work for his candy. He goes, "It's Halloween, you know, candy's free." And she says, "So and so said nothing is ever free."
Oh, did my HBO Max skip that? I don't think I actually watched episode 9.
Yeah, because episode
Yeah,
9's
episode
all
9,
about.
they
it's
just like
So
live in the
when
90s.
I was watching it,
Yeah.
so we streamed this on HBO Max or
Yeah, I also
it was
watched
weird
it.
because I watched episode, what was it, 8? And it repeated episode 8, and then it went to, and it told me it was episode 9, and then I went to 10, and I was like,
That's
okay.
so weird.
So I was like, what are you guys talking about? I didn't get it was an elephant, but clearly I'm looking at a still from it where
Yeah.
they're in their normal clothes.
Yeah, in a flashback.
HBO, what did you do?
Yeah, in a flashback.
That didn't happen to me.
I'm sorry, Amanda.
Sorry.
Yeah, so they go back and
Table.
it's Halloween night, and you figure out how he chooses his costume, and then you see
I missed a whole chunk. I missed a whole 10 minutes.
and he says, "I'm an elephant. You see, here's my trunk." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cute. That's adorable."
I'll be sure to go back.
Yeah.
HBO, you screwed me over.
Yeah,
didn't
so
happen to
that
me.
was a cute thing, and I liked Sarah's costume too. Is she supposed to be like one of the popular girls?
No,
No.
I think she's just a girl.
Oh, okay.
She's like Mary Jane
Yeah.
for the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, she's the
kinda-
mascot.
Oh, okay. All right.
She was a skeleton, right? I saw the
Yeah,
end
but
episode,
and
she
like
was a little.
at one point they go to a football game and she's like the
She's the
costume
mascot bee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cute. He's kind of a, no offense. I'm not gonna be a loser. So, the mascot is never the cool person either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you at my high school, because then our teacher was the mascot, and he was just crazy and cool at the same time.
There's one point where in that episode where Jason Funderburker puts his hand on Sarah's and she's like, "You can move your hand now," and then one of her friends is like, "You can hold my hand, Jason. I don't mind."
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to her.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, when they are all in the grave site, and the cop comes up and is like, he's like telling them, "What are you doing here? It's illegal." "Oh, I'm just kidding. Happy Halloween," or something like that. And then he proceeds to chase them to the garden wall, and they go up and over the wall, and then they end up in a pond, and then they start drowning, which is how they get to the unknown.
So you have to almost have a near-death experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the unknown is a very scary place.
And those trees freaked me out too.
Oh, the trees,
I think
the
everything
places.
about this cartoon just freaked me out. Like I said, I don't do well with if I entered that kind of world, I'd be like, how do I get out of here as soon as possible? I wouldn't have their level of calm
I feel
throughout the
like-
entire thing.
I feel like a lot of weird Cartoon Network shows prepared me for dark imagery.
Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog had some of the most creepy things I've ever seen. The first episode,
Did you guys
I know.
get my
Yes, we
email?
did.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you're going with Return the Slab Guy? Really? We're going with that episode? Let's go! I remember that episode gave me nightmares, but at the same time, my
Thank
stepfather would walk around the house being like, Return the Slab. He'd go around, you'd hear him in the background going, Ramses, the old album they play. But, no, I feel like there's a lot
love
of
Courage the Cowardly
weird-
Dog.
There's a lot, the claymation in that is just horrifying. This is not a kid's show. This should not. Adults, it's not Adult Swim. I keep saying Adult Swim. Cartoon Network really upped their, like, I think, age to a certain extent. I think they realized it's not just younger kids watching
Courage,
cartoons.
they go back and forth because like Courage
They
was
do.
the '90s and into the early 2000s and like.
Oh,
but
I
then-
watched that entire series and
Same
I loved
here.
it.
Yeah, then like in the 2010s they started going skewing a little older again with like regular show and Adventure Time. and,
Regular
like,
Show was
stuff
a
like
weird one
this.
because I remember my sister came to me and she's like, "Yeah, no, they use some words," and I'm like, "Words?" And I heard they dropped like the word like pissed, and I was just like, "That's acceptable now." I was like, for children. I remember when I said the word like screwed, like, "Oh, he's screwed." My mom yelled at me for using that term.
It was TV PG. They had the rating on.
I did go back and rewatch that, and I just realized that's a cozy show. Too.
It's fun, yeah.
It's so nice.
It loses me at the end when they like try and make it very dramatic because it's just like, why would you do that?
It's kind of like there was this thing with like Closure. They tried to do a lot of Closure. Like I think I never watched the true ending for like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I watched that show to its entirety. I loved it. I thought it was so creative. I thought it was so cute and fun.
I liked Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
One of the best cartoons Cartoon Network ever had.
Yes, one of them.
And they had such a great, strong pilot, which was a movie. Like the first whole thing, it was great. And then I hear, like, you know, they came back like years later to give it an actual proper ending. Cause,
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
and it was an hour-long ending. And I never, you know, saw that. I keep thinking to myself, I gotta go back. But they've really been like, I think Over the Garden Wall doesn't have much of a deeper meaning.
No.
Which is kind of nice. You don't have to think too hard. Like you had shows like Steven Universe, which kind of deals with more of the emotional, how to handle like emotions and, you know, how when things don't go your way, and also dealing with darker themes, which are like war crimes.
Yeah.
War crime. It was in genocide.
Steven Universe.
Oh my
I
God.
think disappeared in itself at a certain point. Just like.
I sat down because I had a bunch of kids who were like really into it, and then I heard that the movie was done partially by an anime studio called Trigger, which helped with the animation. That's when I was like, I kind of want to see the movie, but I guess I have to watch the show to get to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I heard it gets good at some point. when am I gonna start getting this? After season 2, it was like, okay, picking up.
I'm a big Adventure Time guy. That's my pick for probably the best thing Cartoon Network put out.
I need to sit
See,
down
now
and watch
I-
all of it, Adventure Time. My siblings, I watched it intermittently with them because it was part of their,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, because I was that person who like sat with their siblings and watched like Disney's like little cartoons up to a certain point.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay,
you know,
Phineas
Nick
and
Jr.
Ferb ruled.
Phineas
Oh,
and
Phineas and
Ferb
Ferb.
were great.
And they tried to do a new show too. I think something about a squirrel. They went back to the squirrels.
No, I see, like, I loved watching Cartoon Network growing up because I got shows like Dexter's Laboratory.
It had better shows than Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Well, it did.
They had a variety.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Nickelodeon had some heavy hitters.
They did, but
Hey
it's
Arnold.
like out of all the
Hey
ones I
Arnold,
can
The
count on my
Rugrats.
fingers, I
Rugrats,
feel
Rocco's.
Rocco's Modern
you know,
Life.
Rocko's Modern Life. I'm not gonna
Rocko's
lie.
Modern
The
Life.
special they put out years later, it was like, this is weird.
I love
Seeing
that.
that
too.
again.
I
love
didn't
that
catch
cartoon.
up on it. I heard some people liked it, some people didn't.
I could take it or leave it.
Okay.
It was like I watched it. And I was like, oh, I remember Rocko's Modern Life.
Ah, Real Monsters.
All Real Monsters was great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
I couldn't
them
get
to
too
reboot.
into that. The Klasky Supo, however you say it, I don't know. You know what I'm talking
The
about.
what?
The animation company, Klasky.
Oh, I
They
have
did
no idea
Rugrats and
about
stuff.
the-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Their art style got too ugly on that one for me.
I think it
Their art
was
style is
purposeful.
generally kind of tough, but like that one, I was just like, I can't do that.
Fair. But I think
fair
that's
enough.
also
But-
what I grew up watching.
Oh
though,
yeah,
too.
no, I
Yeah.
love Rugrats. Like,
I love
yeah.
Not gonna lie, I watched Rugrats, but as an adult now, I'm like, I'm good without Rugrats.
I think the
No,
adults are funny
I'm-
in Rugrats, though.
I think I
I-
understand
I-
the adults in Rugrats.
Yeah, that's the thing. You age into being like, all right, Stu Pickles is the best character on the show.
I
Yes.
love that's the one meme that everyone loves from it is he's in the middle of the night cooking like, what are you doing? Making chocolate pudding. Why? Because I have no control over my life. He's just like, I feel you. Be that person at 3 a.m. cooking ramen or something. It's me. Going for my donuts. Why?
But yeah, Adventure Time's just like, I don't know. show's so wild. It's very funny, and it never loses sight of just like, all right, we're gonna do something creative with this episode. But like, then it gets more heavy on the plot later on and stuff, and I don't know.
That's what
it
I
explores
like, is
very
that the
cool
shows
stuff.
really went for, instead of like always just little like standalone adventures, is that it really tried to bring you into, like, it tried to world build a little bit. It also tried to answer questions like Finn's parents. I remember that being a thing.
I love Martin Mertens. What a character. Just the worst deadbeat imaginable.
I have seen the end episode. Because
now,
people...
which ending? The
one
ending
where
of the
it's like-
show or the Distant Lands one?
I think it's the show where you find out, like, there's the ship that comes back with all the humans.
Yes.
Because everyone's like, try not to cry, and I'm like, I can't cry to this because I don't know the context. But I understand, like, his parents and what happened there.
And
I know.
they let Marcy and Phoebe finally kiss at the end.
Aw.
After years of it just being extremely obvious subtext.
Yeah.
I saw the scene where I saw all of the Flame Princess, the Fire Princess arc, which was very sad and at the same time, like, very emotional throughout that whole thing. And I saw his, like, people post, like, really weird moments from the show, and they always want to go for the dramatic ones, like when he yells at Peavy. Like, you know, he's like, I liked you. You know, and now you want to come over here and be like... I was like, oh, wow, okay, this got really heavy. I was like, all right, I guess we're just going to have to watch
Well, I
that,
think
put
that's
that on the
why-
watch list.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think with in terms of, like, animated series that have plots,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I really liked watching, like, the Rugrats, because it had its own world. It had plot. Nothing was really, like, random, or Hey Arnold, or even Dexter's Laboratory, or, you know, it's...
Did Rugrats have a plot?
It had
Not
its world.
overarching.
Yeah, I was going to be like more of an overarching plot.
Yeah. But I mean, it had a plot. Now, at times when I look at, like, an animated series, it's like, all right, what does this have to do with anything? Are you just doing it to be stupid? So
There's some of it, I guess, because you're also catering to what the youth
The
are
youths.
into nowadays.
The
But I know,
youths.
like, shows like...
I don't know. There's some 90s cartoons that are barely comprehensible.
It's true.
Ed and Eddie, not the tightest grasp on any sort of reality.
Not at all, but I love it.
Oh, it is a great
I
show.
love
What do
the
you
fourth
mean?
wall breaks. I love Rolf being some, you know, eldritch horror.
they are a group of kids that are trying to earn money to buy a job right now.
Sure, but do you see
They're
what
not
else
even-
happens on the show?
Well, of course, I love
He
that
eats
show.
a bed in his stairs. It's Double D's the only one who questions the world around him. Like, how? What is this? It's a fever dream of a show. And the movie didn't help. Because then they tried to actually explain things, and you're just like, no. Like Eddie's brother.
He gets weird. Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, Eddie's been being abused. It's
By his
like, oh.
older brother. Yeah. To be fair, which Ed literally is abused by his sister.
Yeah.
Yo, Susie is...
Susie's not a nice person.
Don't like Susie. Susie's a perfect little princess in front of everybody else, but then as soon as it's like brother and his dumb friends come around, it's like, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat them. Like, children are so violent. Children are mean. Have you seen the
Yeah, they are.
video online of a kid calling his mom's friend, like, fat? Like, in public, tells her what the dress looks like on her, and she's just like, I'm like, kids are mean.
Yeah.
They got no filter.
No
No.
filter. I'm like, oh.
I haven't learned that yet.
Nope.
God. It's like cartoons prepare us for what kids are like in the future if we're not realizing it.
Yeah.
I always told myself, I'm like, I could never be a teacher. Kids are mean. I don't think I can handle teaching it. I'm like, just don't yell at me. But nobody really yells in Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, Woodsman.
The Woodsman.
Yeah, he's kind of like, oh, you think that's the beast?
To be fair, he's on, he's stressed out.
Oh, I can't blame him, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
He's justified.
And I feel like Christopher Lloyd's default, like, voice level is pretty much that high. I feel like
Yeah.
if you ever met him, which he was at Comic-Con this year, and him and
Michael J. Fox
got to
that's
reunite
sweet.
with each other.
Yeah.
Anyone see that movie Nobody from like last year or 2 years ago?
No.
It stars Bob Odenkirk.
No.
No.
It's just like it's like like a takeoff of John Wick more or less, but
I've
Christopher
definitely heard of
Lloyd's
it.
in it, and he's just like blowing people away as like an 80-something-year-old man. It's pretty funny.
It's funny. I can see him actually doing that in a movie.
So, I would the pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
The pumpkin's head just showed, and she's
No.
He's just a little kitty cat.
No! Please don't.
he's just a little kitty cat. He's like a little look at him. He's like a
know.
little kitty cat.
Oh, I hate that.
No.
Simona, you keep looking at it. Stop looking at it.
I can't help it.
I was looking for something.
The pumpkins freaked me out.
So Over the Garden Wall, I do agree is a great fall time show. It's the woods
yeah.
are taken during the time. This is all during Halloween,
Yeah.
especially. I didn't realize that in the beginning because you don't really think of that.
Yeah.
You just think they're like weird kids, kind of a gnome. Although I love his little
His hat.
That's so good.
little hat. Oh, they did turn this series into like a little graphic novel and stuff like that. So I haven't seen what it looks like, but I hope that upon looking at it, it does look like a storybook.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it would make like a cute storybook,
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
and I would read this to my children definitely. Nightmares for everybody.
Of course.
If I have a nightmare, you have to have a nightmare.
As an adult, I do not have these nightmares of this show, but I do agree that there are some very scary images. How, Simona? This doesn't creep you out, but the pumpkin does? Like, they're happy. Freaking out Simona. Showing her pictures of the...
Dad, show me the pumpkin people, please. The pumpkin people.
Like, even
scare me.
the what we thought was the beast, but it was actually just a dog.
Yeah.
Like, those shiny eyes, I was like...
He ate one of the black turtles, which is why I thought something was up with the black turtle, and then the black turtle swam away, and I was like, uh-oh. But then I saw the shadow at the end of episode 1, so...
That kind of reminded me of Spirited Away when Chihiro gives No Face that the medicine from the river god, and he spits up
Everything
whatever's
else.
been, yeah, and then like he turns normal. That's what that kind of reminded me of.
Well, it
Yeah.
makes you wonder because the Auntie Whispers episode, it's like all those buckets are filled with
The black turtles.
the black turtles, and she eats the black turtles.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she looks the way she does.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has that bell.
Yeah.
And she's like, the bell
The
come
ringing of the
us.
bell.
It makes you wonder, does she have the powers because of the turtles? Or maybe the turtles, what's she doing with those turtles? Trying to save people from the turtles?
I don't know.
Maybe
Some
she
things
wants
we'll
her
never
sister
know.
to eat them because she's a jerk.
Maybe you're reading just a little too much into it.
I also liked that it went very Grimm's fairy tale with Adelaide.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, you want these scissors so you can cut your wings off? And it's like, all right, calm down.
I know. I was just thinking about that too. She's like, snip, snip. I was like, don't let her snip anything.
Yeah.
But they have to snip the wings off clearly to reverse the curse.
But see, I don't trust her. I think she was just saying that.
No, but Wirt gave Beatrice the scissors, and then at the end of episode 10, you see that they're all back to being human again.
It's a very Grimm's fairy tale.
It is very
esque,
Grimm's. Yeah.
Yeah.
moment.
And it's so true. The frog just wanted clothing.
I love the frog, and he's naked. He's like, and we're like, we've been just seeing him this entire time. I love the police chase. Everything about this show is incredibly adorable.
Not the
It's
pumpkin
very
people.
whimsical.
It's incredibly whimsical. It is a fairy tale. It's done very much like an old Disney cartoon.
Oh, that just looking at the dog. Can
The
we go
dog.
back?
Oh, the big scary puppers.
Yeah, his eyes look like what
That's better.
Aunt Whisper, whatever her name.
Yeah,
is.
because
Auntie
he
Whispers.
ate the turtle. And
Yeah.
That's why the turtle. Okay, it's the turtles.
It's always the
So was the girl? Oh no. So the girl wasn't eating the turtles. It was
No.
the aunt that was eating the turtles.
Yes.
And the turtles. Oh, okay. Turtles.
Did you notice there's one scene, and I finally found a still of it.
Oh.
Is at one point they're looking up into the trees and they see these squirrels and they're like blacked out, like scary with red eyes. I realize they're all wearing bows.
No.
They've got little bow
Aw.
ties. I was like, are those bow ties. I'm like, that makes this whole thing not scary to me.
I don't know.
But it is a very scary thing to be alone in the woods.
Yeah.
They're not really alone, they're together, but still, you know, being lost, not
they're-
knowing where you are, the fear of the unknown. Going to towns, maybe Wirt should have listened to Beatrice, but then where would the story be?
Exactly.
They would have been yarn at that point. Beatrice is also voiced by Melanie Linsky,
Yes.
who I recognize her face in things, but I can't put a name on anything. I see some of the things she's in, but I can't think of anything that I know specifically. I know her though.
She's in Perks Being Wallflower, But I'm a Cheerleader, Heavenly Creatures, Coyote Ugly, Frighteners.
Coyote Ugly. Oh,
Who's she
God.
playing Coyote Ugly?
Everyone, a person named Gloria. I haven't seen that movie in like.
Uh,
When did this movie come out? 2000? Since then.
But yeah, no, she's been around. She's in a lot of stuff. She's on 2.5 Men.
You know, it's funny. I've just recently started watching like sitcom type stuff, and I never watched 2.5 Men. I did not grow up with 2.5 Men.
Not missing much.
Yeah, you're really not missing anything.
Because I went back and watched what was it? How I Met Your Mother.
That's a
That
pretty good
show.
show. Yeah.
I love that. Some of the humor, I'm like, I could see today people being like, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna laugh at this.
I
love
could
that.
never get into How I Met Your Mother.
I highly recommend New Girl, but like you can just skip the first season. The first season's bad.
Uh-huh.
It's just written weird, and like the show never goes back to that. So
Maybe.
it's a good show. It's Jake Johnson is hysterical in it. Just gives one of the best sitcom performances ever, I think.
So I think for Over the Garden Wall. Sorry, we keep all getting off track. So I think Over the Garden Wall is a very nostalgic show.
Yes.
To say the least, I think at this point to say.
Yes.
I think I told Joe my favorite part of the show in general was the title cards. Was it had the border, the wood. What it's kind of like a tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
With the skull and the wings and stuff like that. It's a very like you're like, oh, this is gonna be dark.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it deals with silly little stories and silly little towns of people who have their own problems, all scared of one being above the most, being the beast.
Folks, it's a great Halloween family watch. Highly recommend. Fall time, Halloween.
Well,
whatever.
I mean, after I was done watching all 10 episodes last night, I went and watched Ichabod Crane on Disney Plus, and I grew up watching that. I love that show.
It was a little movie.
It's a
It's a small movie.
It's
Yeah.
half of a movie. Yeah.
It's a short. It's a lot of fun. It's great. And Mr. Toad.
You know, as a child, I was like, skip Mr. Toad. Get to
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
See, I love Wind in the Willows, the book. So
I have the book.
It's
now.
so good. It's just like, oh, what if these animals just had funny little lives?
Yeah.
And then at one point, one of them meets God.
Well, what I find interesting about the short of Mr. Toad is that Basil Rathbone plays in it. Like, he's the narrator, and I don't know if he voices any of like the characters, but he's a really big like old Hollywood actor. He was in The Adventures of Robin Hood. I think he played Prince John, and he was also in Casablanca. He was the Inspector Louis. So he's very well known, and the fact that he had a voicing part in a Disney short is like, that's really cool. And you have Bing Cosby in Ichabod Crane.
And did you know, though he wasn't credited for it,
He wasn't.
this is a different actor.
Oh.
In Fantasia, during the Night on Bald Mountain sequence, the giant demon.
Uh-huh.
Chernobyl?
Yeah, he was
that name I
rotoscoped
love
off of Bela Lugosi.
Really?
Yes, you can find photographs of Bella posing for it and stuff. But yeah, it's they never credited him for him. I don't even know if he got paid for it, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's Bella up there.
Wow.
Chernobyl, so cool.
Yeah.
I just pull that name out of my book. I love that. It's like you find a Disney name. It's like, what was the name of that thing that we only saw once in our lifetime? Chernobyl.
I knew
Once
you'd know
I watched it
Amanda.
multiple times. I didn't realize he had a name.
They don't
weird.
say it or
Technically,
anything.
all
People just
the-
absorbed it
I
somehow.
don't know all
Yeah.
their names, but I know all of the centaurs have names as well.
Really?
I just don't know all
It's-
their names by heart.
It's like how kids walk away from Star Wars being like, I love Kiadi Mundi, and it's like there's no way they said Kiadi Mundi's name in those movies.
How do
Yeah.
you know who that is?
How do you figure this out,
Can
kid?
you see now that you mentioned that? I'm sorry. I've only watched Fantasia once, and that was years ago. But that kind of scared me too. I don't know. It just scared me.
So you have all the characters. There's a lot. Melinda is the blonde-haired blue centaurette with pigtails decorated in pink bows. There's Brutus, who is one of them, which would also become the name of whose horse? I'm pretty sure there's the name of the horse. Sunflower and Otica are
You mean
the little
Maximus?
donkey-bodied centaurettes. I'm not going to go into that one because those are the ones that people have problems with.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Didn't they remove them from the re-releases?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yes,
cropped the
they
image.
did, but their names are here. So that's basically it. But
Oh,
some of them
okay.
have names, and some of them, I guess, are just whatever. But they're there.
Oh, okay.
They're all just having a lovely time.
I'm sure. There are some dirty moments though, when some of the centaurs go behind little willow things and like the curtain drops.
Yeah, they
They
were
are
kissing.
centaurs.
Dirty moments, and I'm sure something else.
They're
was
holding
going on.
hands. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Whoa. Dirty.
Protected.
Oh boy.
There's no reason why the curtain should fall if nothing is happening. There's some
Ah,
innuendo
folks.
going there.
Next week.
So,
Oh.
final thoughts on Over the Garden Wall.
I really liked it.
Great show.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Cute
And-
animation.
And
cute
although
story.
Greg annoys the hell out of me, I could watch it again.
Look, we all need someone positive in our lives, and for Wirt, it's Greg.
Yeah.
Greg's a good little brother. He's
Definitely need
he's
a
what I
Greg.
strive to be, in a sense of being the ray of sunshine.
You do a good job.
I try.
No, you're not trying. You're doing a great job.
Good
You
job.
are the ray of sunshine.
Am I your ray of sunshine?
In this group, yes.
Aww.
Yeah, we all have a role to play. You're the ray of sunshine.
I'm the ray of sunshine.
Don't
Look,
let
this-
that go to your head, Amanda.
I won't. I've learned my lesson about hype. Not
Yeah.
giving in.
Yeah, the cartoon, like, there were legit terrifying moments. I can't get over the pumpkin people. I'm sorry. I can't get over Enoch. The reveal of Enoch, like, that terrified me. Like, oh my lord. And the cat popping out of his head didn't make it any better. That just legit terrified me even more. I was like, oh my god, it's pumpkin people.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was super cute. It had been on my list for a while, so I'm glad Joe made it a recommendation for the fall. Very soft, very calming in a sense, kind of a watch. Because there's not like excessive things going on constantly, not a lot of shouting, not a lot of this. It's more just like Wirt's reactions are like my reactions at this point, where he's just like, okay. And you just walk off. And he's like, all right. It's just kind of that questioning, sarcastic tone.
Yeah.
That's how it is. He's doing his best for his little brother. He's doing his best for himself. He's a very simple guy. He just likes a girl. And he wants to get back and spend time with that girl. And I think that's very cute and admirable.
And so real.
So real. Sometimes it's just, man,
Yeah.
he just got that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't care about his brother. Just that goal. So, the frog knew all along, though. I'm on to you.
Take us out.
And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Oh.